What's going on? This is let you know all about the kicks. Subscribe to the channel, put a like on the button, share this to your friends and family. Man, I want to talk about Ciara, man, the R&B singer, the diva, the one that everybody's saying she's the queen and all that. When it comes down to men, Ciara has bad luck. And what I mean as bad luck is every famous guy she get with, she ruins their career. You might not believe me, but she ruined their career. Now, the first person we know that she started dating was in between 04 and 05 was Bow Wow. At the time before Bow Wow got with her, Bow Wow's first album came out in 2000. His first album went triple platinum. Alright, he had 2 #1 singles on the album, 2 top 10 singles on the album. Album was dope. JD and all them dudes who wrote on that album was fire. He did his thing. He was, 13 years old, whatever he was. He had 13 on that album, on his way turning 14. Then a year after that, in 2001, he came up with his second album. Went #1 on the Billboard, sold over 200,000 copies. And he had another 2 top 10 singles on that album. Like I said, he went platinum. He went 2 times platinum on that album, right? So it kind of dipped after that. JD had left Sony and went to a different label. So he left Bow Wow there and he left Jagged Edge there. He couldn't bring them. Something with the contract, they couldn't bring them. So they had to stay there with them, right? 2003, he came out with his third album. And you know, that album was good. It was good, but it wasn't as good as the other 2 albums. It wasn't corny. T.I. wrote that album. Him and T.I. put that album together. You know what I'm saying? That's what T.I. used to be, kind of starting to doing the ghostwriter thing for a lot of people until he blew up to where he is today, right? So that happened. He went gold on that album. He sold 500,000 copies. You know, that's good, but back in 2003 it's kind of average. But like I said, had a top 10 single on that album too with Jagged Edge. Then he kind of took a year off, and then we started finding out that he was dating Ciara. At the time, we didn't know who Ciara was. She had the song Goodies out. That song just completely blew up, went #1. Everybody in America was loving Ciara, the dancing moves, the everything. Everything was dope, right? Found out she started dating Bow Wow. But at the time she started dating Bow Wow, Bow Wow came up with his 4th album called Wanted. Dope album. He murdered it. So if you said he did it, if you said his 3rd album wasn't good as the other 2 albums, his 4th album, he got back with JD and he murdered it. 2 #1 singles, top 10 single, came up with 3 singles that year. Did good. Still mess with Ciara. Then him and Ciara started having problems. So around 2006, Ciara came up with her 2nd album. Bow Wow came up with his 2nd album. His album sales started going low again. He only sold 700,000 copies on his 5th album. The album was dope. It should have went platinum, but he only went gold. It might be platinum now, but at the time when I checked the records, it's still gold. So at that time, we found out that him and Ciara was having problems. She broke up with him, right? Now she started fucking with the king of New York, the queen gangster. All you could think of, G-Unit is on. So he started messing with 50 Cent. And we all like, and in the hood, like, Ciara's messing with 50. 50 is on top of the world. First album, Diamond. 2nd album, 7 million albums worldwide. On top of the world, can't stop him. 2007, 50 come out with the Curtis album. Him and Kanye West, they battling each other. Kanye sold 1 million copies. And 50 Cent at the time only sold 682,000 copies his first week. Still good. That's great numbers. They killed the history. That was like one of the best hip-hop histories of all time. Him and Kanye did. If you put both albums together, that's almost 2 million, right? So he's messing with Ciara. 50 album sales went low on that album. He sold 680-some thousand copies. After that week, he wasn't selling that much. That album only did close to 2 million. So I mean, that's not good. That album was straight. It was more, to me, more commercial than the other 2 albums. The album was real commercial. There's too many pop songs up there. So a lot of 50 fans wasn't really feeling that. You know what I mean? The album wasn't corny, but it was just too much poppy songs up there. So that album did flop, but it didn't do as well as the first two albums. Ciara and him started mess. I think they broke up around 2009. 50 career started going down in 2009. 50 came out with his fourth album. He barely went gold. The album's gold now, but it barely went gold. And that album was trash. Because I remember that album was getting delayed. It was getting delayed a lot. I think it got delayed like 3 times before it came out. But at the time, he was still with Ciara, and so the album was trash. Like, the first single with Neo was good, but other sides that, the album was trash. You know what I mean? So 50's career, his music career started going down. You know, it came back up around 2012, 2013, but 50 wasn't the same artist where he was messing with Ciara. Ciara got a curse. Every man she get with, their career go down. It's just facts. Now we get the Future. Future came out in 2011. Album came out in 2012. He had 2 hit songs on that album. Actually 3, I'm sorry, because he came out with a special edition album too, with extra 4 or 5 songs up there. So he came up with that album. He started messing with Ciara around 2012. He helped Ciara out on her album. He wrote 2 songs on her album. Her album didn't do well. Her album sales, I think she sold only like 52,000 copies her first week. You can look this up. Ciara, ever since her 3rd album, her album's been flopping. Ciara got 5 albums that flopped back to back. The last 5 albums that flopped. Her Based It Instant album in 2010 flopped. The one with Future Helper with that album, that 2012 album flop. Her 2015 album flop. Her 2017 album flop. And then the last one came out, I think last year or last year before. That album flop. Besides all that, she got with Future. Future was booming, killing the industry, murdering it. Took T-Pain out the game, man. T-Pain was on top of the world. Future took his spot. You know what I'm saying? The hook man. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, T-Pain, everybody forgot about T-Pain. T-Pain was on top of the world for like 7 years in a row. But you know how the music industry go. You hot for so long. So you got to be hot, get all the money you can, and when you go cold, you got to do your thing. But like I said, Future was taking over. He was banging out hits, singing on everybody's hooks, doing everything. When he got with Ciara, came out with his 2nd album, that shit flopped. You know what I'm saying? Sold 50,000 copies his first week. It wouldn't go now because everybody went back to double down to check the album out. But at the time, it flopped. You're saying? He's writing all kinds of songs about being in love, and we was not feeling that. We want the Future talking about weed, coke, pills. Don't mean we do that type of stuff, but we wanted to hear that shit because that's what Future was talking about. And like I said, when he broke up with Ciara in 2015, it was a wrap. He been hot since then. He put out the last 7 #1 albums in a row. When he left Ciara, he been on top. It was the greatest thing he maybe did in his life to leave Ciara. That's facts. That's facts. Alright? Check his album sales when he was with Ciara and check him when he left Ciara. 7 #1 albums in a row. Amazing. Ciara got that curse, man. I don't know what she's doing. She don't got that Erykah Badu curse. Because Erykah Badu, when you get with Erykah Badu, she lifts you up. When you get with Ciara, she lifts you down. Now let's get to Russell. At the time, Russell was the pretty boy. A lot of teammates didn't like him like that. You know, they feel like he got too much good treatment. You know, I think he's mixed. I think he's half white, half black, whatever. A lot of the people didn't like him. They feel like, you know, the coach was like showing him too much love. Because that's what they do with quarterbacks. But still, they were showing him too much love. Now, at the time, this boy was on fire. He went to the Super Bowl twice. Could have won twice, but his coach messed up. His coach wanted him to win the Super Bowl instead of letting the running back win the Super Bowl. That's why they lost that Super Bowl. But he would have had 2 Super Bowls if it was for his coach. At the time, he was not messing with Ciara. He was still on top of the world. Since then, at the that last Super Bowl, he got with Ciara, started having a couple kids, got married. Salute to him. Happy he's married. I'm glad, happy he's in love with Ciara. That's cool. But since he been with Ciara for all these, we've been with Ciara, what, 7, 8 years now? Like 7 years? Yeah, it's like 7. His career has not been good. The last 3 years, he been playing like trash. Last year, he played like trash. This year, he got a contract for $250 million. And he's playing like trash. They lost again last week. This dude's not even throwing touchdowns no more. Like, he should have just stayed with Seattle. Because the playing with Denver, it's not working out for you right now. You playing like trash. And it got to do because Ciara. I bet you if he divorced Ciara, his career will go back like it was when he's with Seattle, winning all them championships, winning all them regular season games. He hasn't been right in the last three or four seasons. He has not been right. I don't know if his mind is not focused on football, but this year he's playing right now. He's playing the worst football ever. Last year he was doing good and he got hurt. So plus he didn't want to be there. So it was just like, all right, he didn't want to be there and blah, blah, blah. You know how people do, a lot of these sports players do, where they don't want to be somewhere. They'll stop playing. They'll start working hard. They'll stop really doing what they're supposed to do because they want to get traded. He asked for a trade. He got traded. I still think Seattle won that battle. And what I mean as won that battle, they won that trade. Because Russell's not playing the way Russell used to play. And he's still young. He's only like 33 years old. So it's not like he's 40 or he's 36, 37. Ciara, it got a curse on these men. You get with Ciara, your career goes down. That's 4 men I just told you about that was on top of the world where they left Ciara, now they back. Only one in back. I mean, we're going to say Bow Wow's not back, but he's not back in the music industry. He's been out of the music industry since 2010. He haven't put an album out since 2010, but he's still been doing movies, Love and Hip Hop. He's been doing all that stuff. He's still making money, whatever. You know, a couple years after that, he was on the One Assistant Part for a couple years before. They canceled that show in 2015, so he still was doing his thing. But he got back on top when he wasn't with Ciara. But let me know what y'all think about that. Subscribe to the channel. If you think Ciara got that curse on these men, leave a comment. Because like I said, if you check everybody record, when they was on top of the world, and when they got with Ciara, their career went down. When they left Ciara, their career went back up. Future haven't looked back since. 50 Cent haven't looked back since. Russell still with her, married to her. He can't do nothing right now. Bow Wow still doing his thing. So like I said, man, salute to y'all. Leave a comment. Tell me what y'all think. We out here. Peace and love.